you very much. And by description of Honorable Mwanga, on that telephone that he received, utilize come and lead us in prayer for us to accommodate people, no matter the religion. Seka, yangu twali mkuwa, sabide no Muslim, kwa baba mbazi kipeti ni seka.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wa ba'd. Allahumma sallit aduwana aqlabum min kilabika. Ay Allah wachitiwa, kusabanga newombese joli manyaga wachitiwa. Abalabi baffe era ab'eggwanga lino abasindikire empologoma z'okuboozerera. Tukusaba okuba pulezidenti waffe omutereko omukono gw'ekitiibwa atuuke mu bukulembeze bwe twagala obw'okununula eggwanga laffe Uganda nga mulamu bulungi era omuwe omukono gw'ekisa abeere nga tukulembera bulungi anunule eggwanga laffe Uganda. Nsaba buli muntu ayazze wano omuteeko omukono ogw'ekitiibwa ogw'ekisa n'abasigaddeyo nga bali emabega w'ekisinde kino baseekeko omukono ogw'ekitiibwa. Byonna mbisaba Allah nga mpita mu linnya ly'ekitiibwa Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Allahumma Amin.
So you can see, Gwanya Manyamu.
Amanya, ndi Sheikh Isa Abubakar Semojo, ibyo ni Amir Luwero District.
From Luwero District. Have you ever dreamt of having handshake with the president? You have never dreamt. Do you have it as a dream? Alhamdulillah. Go and have the handshake. Go na manye migo jona afuna. Amaita abatujja ate olinesa abatujju nomunamanya mukikuba ekifaananyi ekyo. Yeah, for us here at the National Unity Platform, we reaffirm all faith. Anglican, Christian, born again, Muslim, apart from the atheists, we are yet to agree because many of us have attachment to particular religion. So it is not right to discriminate or describe characteristically like they did people because of their faith. That is very, and the NUP will deliver, of course, better than you've had them speak.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you're most welcome. Of course, good afternoon. We have started a little bit late because of force majeure. It was not our own making. But Shamim here, Malende, knows that acts of God, you cannot. So we are here and we will use the shortest time possible. We reach out to the media to please bear with us, but we'll compensate with the terrific speed that we shall carry out this. Mr. President, allow me recognize that on this press conference we have eminent persons. You have councillors. Councillors LC3, you stand up. The other time they said,
Our power, people power, NUP, everywhere, everywhere, NUP.
You're most welcome. Those at the division level, you stand up for recognition. That's LC3. Those at the Lord Councillors, stand up for recognition. Lord Councillors. Of course, they are all represented by the Speaker of the Lord Council. So stand up for recognition. Zahara Lirika, our able Speaker. We do have Yolse Council, Nanunji Alice from Masaka. It is also city, you're also Lord Councillor. We take special recognition of leaders from Bugisu. My brother Honorable Masawa, you're most welcome.
People power, our power, people power.
NEC members, Musiri, you're most welcome. I take recognition of our Speaker, Watiso District, Nadia, one of our very great people in delivering at the local government. It has not easy managing Watiso. You've done us proud. Thank you, Nadia. Mr. President, you have Honorable Muyanja from Mukono is with us today. Mr. President, the lobe is not with us, but the ears are here. Mosh from Masaka, an office of you're most welcome. Of course, that collar gives you all the advantages of being introduced. Bishop, you're most welcome. Stuart from Entebbe, you're most welcome. Come and have a handshake with the president. I should exercise my powers because he comes from Entebbe. You see, Entebbe is a very interesting area. They have Lake Victoria, and I feel like I'm living in Entebbe because I come from Jinja. Stuart, Mr. President, that young man comes from Entebbe. He's a very good young man down there and doing a great job. I want to know Basima. The foot soldiers, you're most welcome. Members of the National Unity, owners and members of the National Unity Platform, you are most welcome. Councillor, you did not stand up. You expanded, I did see you. She's also our councillor from Machingi Savakabo. My sister Nakato, you're most welcome. And all other members, Katongole Julius, Kantakalas Katongole Julius, you are most welcome. And all other members, you're all most welcome. Arish Kanu, my brother, and Obi, classmate, you're most welcome. And all of you that I have not introduced, I will do it another time. Mr. President, sir, amidst us, we have members of Parliament, and we have the Honorable Seungu Gonzaga from Kalungu. We have Honorable Christine Kaya, my very good friend from Chivoga. We have Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, the chairman of the Uganda Caucus. Sentebe wa Uganda Caucus. And also the head of the park committee, Nesu Active. He has not served in that capacity. Members of the National Executive Committee, Farida Navatanzi, you're most welcome. Yeah, today he's dressed like people from a particular country. I will not say, they will say he's on their money, but it is in Europe. And our Secretary General, you're most welcome. Mr. President, all those people are here to witness what will be said. And of course, myself, Mr. President, you are deputy spokesperson. I am so sorry. Shamil Madende, MP Kampala, you're most welcome. Man MP Kampala, you're most welcome. Shamil Malada Jakundi Amuamasu. And my sister from Tisoro, you're most welcome. You're very, very smart. That is NUP. That is not anywhere else. Mr. President, allow me at this juncture invite Honorable Masa Walkamba, our chairperson of the Election Management Committee, to come and speak to us. Madam Masi Walkamba.
Thank you, Comrade Waiswa. People power. People power. I, Mase Walkamba, being the chairperson of the Election Management Committee of the National Unity Platform, I'm here to declare our comrade, who is going to be our official candidate for woman member of Parliament in the upcoming by-election. She is Sultan Salim. Can you please stand up for recognition? Our official candidate who is going to be our candidate in the upcoming by-election Kisoro district. Please let's go there in big numbers to support her because the win is on our side. Nsiramu Luganda ono candidate waffe bwe twataddeko omukono wabwe twalonze wabwe twayisiza mu kasengejja agenda okubeera oba tukwatidde bendera yaffe mu kawulu ke tugendamu. Zasita kama kakasameme kuba support tujina ate kaenda tu wafumula batundika. So tugendeyo bulungi tumusupporting sobola kuleta win ba onaona twagala twakenga win. Mwebala nnyo mwebala.
Oyo omukyala
walibaddeyo
owa NRM minisita eyakafa omutima omanyi bo bafa mitima yagenda okuvuganya ku kifo kye naye NRM yayungudde bakandidati bakyalwana balinga abiri neffe oyo waffe woman MP Kisolo agenda kuddira oli owa NRM eyafa mujjukire waliwo minisita eyakafo wa Museveni mumumanyi oyo abadde addirira minisita w'ebyokwerinda kati ffe naffe n'okututaddeyo waffe wuuyo.
People power, our power, NUP, everywhere. Mr. President, behold our candidate, your candidate, Comrade Sultana, commonly known as Tana, who is going to be our flag bearer for Woman Member of Parliament, Kisoro District. We shall give her an opportunity to say something right now, but most importantly, it was good for us to unveil her to you. Unfortunately, they have given us a very, very short time for campaigns, only 12 days. You can imagine how unfair the system is. Only 12 days for campaigns in a district which has 24 sub-counties. And you can imagine for the NRM, they've been there already. They started all the way campaigning, doing their primaries and all that. But we are glad we have our candidate, and we shall all be there on ground. So before, after taking that picture with the president, I will ask her to say something. Yeah, maybe she can even come and say something.
Mr. President, Secretary General, our MPs present, and the NUP fraternity, I greet you all. The people of Kisoro have come here as your sister, your daughter, the people from Fumbira, our Fumbira, the Bachimbiri community. I stand before you with a lot of humility and pride to be called your daughter. Kisoro district for the longest time, it's been 40 years, over 40 years, Kisoro has given full support to NRM. Where even they have a saying of Ijana Kuijana. Ijana Kuijana means 100% NRM. But we can see the people of Kisoro, the number of pledges that this government has given us. We can see, you all know that Kisoro is a tourism hub, where in Mountain Mugahinga, we have the largest number of gorillas in the whole world. So Kisoro speaks for itself, even without an introduction. But if you go, in 2006, they promised us tourism roads. But as we speak, the tourism roads are in a very bad condition. Thank you, sir. If you look at our roads, this is not only going to benefit the tourism industry, but also the traders, because we are known as farmers. When it rains in these tourism roads, you really wonder if this is a tourism hub that we should be. Because if you have visited Kisoro, you can see the beauty of Kisoro district. But we are promised, and up to now, we are still in hope. For how long will we wait? People of Kisoro, Ijana Kujana, let us change the narrative. Let us change the statement of Ijana Kujana. And we know that that is not what happened, because things are changing. We saw what they did in the 2021 elections. We saw how they arrested us. You saw how they beat our agents on polling stations, where agents at 1 p.m. were checked, and polling stations were closed at 1 p.m. Because ballots were already ticked. So we saw all that, and we know people are seeing and people are changing. I know Kisoro right now as we speak, after the NRM primary that just concluded, you saw the impunity, you saw the bribery. Please, Kisoro people, I urge you to change. This is the time, and you have to change now. And there are a lot of of things that we have been promised. The John Carley Institute of Science and Technology. As we speak, they laid a stone in 2017, but you can no longer even trace where that stone is. People are moving from Kisoro to go to other districts for education, when we should have such education in Kisoro so that our leaders, we can have better leaders of tomorrow. So I stand here to empower the youth, the girl child, to ensure that we stay in school, and we are going to put up facilities that are going to help us in doing this. I'm going to be an on-ground leader. An on-ground leader, I mean, where I have to engage with you in our webinars. I sit with you and we discuss our issues in a personal level. An on-ground leader is what I'm going to be. And I'm going to be your vocal person. Abafumbira kazi, abafumbira, abakimbiri, n'abakimbiri kazi, nchimbere yanyu ndikubasaba ngo duhindure, kuko iki nicyo gihe. Buri munsi tuvuga yuko ari 100%. Kubera iki tudahinduraho 100% kubera iki nta district yigera ivuga ngo 100%, n'igisoro gusa yose. Ariko bunzi yuko twenda guhinduraho. Dusindike statement. Iyi election igiye kutuyamba. Dusindike statement iri kwerekana yuko tuhinduyeho. Nyabona muzi yuko twifuza umuntu wo kugira akagisoro, kuko ibyo batubeshe ni byinshi. University yo batubeshe Institute John Carley in memory of the late John Carley. Up to now we don't ntuza institute dufite. Abana batwarije mu Ghana district kwiga. Kandi ufite kuba ibyo byose biri mu district yacu. Amantuza tourism roads tazo turukubona buri gihe. Nyabona duhindureho mu mparuka mukampwa ya Sultana Salim. Uwo muzika
Sultana Salim candidate Kisoro National Unity Platform.
Thank you. Ubusemeza. People power. Our power. Hey. May I now invite our comrade from Western Uganda. I see Mama there, I see comrade Charlie. Western Uganda Mujay.
Laba Baganda baweddeyo.
People power, our power.
Laba ekibiina ky'Abaganda.
All right, Comrade Tana, come in front, please. And the president is going to officially hand over this our symbol to you. Please, in front here. The president is going to officially hand over to you our symbol, which is the umbrella, for you to go and hold it with a lot of pride in Kisoro. People power. Our power. Kunga Kisoro kunga. Kunga Western Uganda kunga.
Bana ekifaananyi kiri bulungi ekifaananyi mulaba bulungi oba kibulamu. Tell me. Ebyembi batuwadde weeks 2 zokka. Muwulidde amagombolo gasukka mu 35 ne batuwadde ennaku 14 zokka. Kyokka NRM yatandika dda ne bwe bityo bwe babikola ne batugezeeko.
Our power. Kunga Kisoro. How I wish the president and the secretariat would give me those 2 weeks in Kisoro. And I see what is in Kisoro. But Kisoro, we are coming. People power. Thank you very much. We surely look forward to doing whatever we can
There's there's a lot of desire to prove that we are not everywhere, but let them mark us with chisel, because we will be there, and let them give us the chance to show who we are and the might that we are, because we are truly a mighty party in Chisolo. That I know. We have the numbers, and we will beat them. We will beat them at that. Mr. President, without wasting any more time, allow us to give this opportunity to Parliament. There is a serious bill and debate concerning coffee, and a lot of people have been hearing a lot of words. We think have the opportunity, being in charge of the fight, and I wish to take this opportunity, Mr. President, to report to you and ask all of us here to put up, to give a thunderous hand clap to our parliamentary team. They have defined us right, that when we mean something, we go for it. And when we stand together, we can beat them no matter the odds. We want to thank the able leadership of Honorable Joel Senyonyi, the able leadership of Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi at the center stage of making sure that we fight for the voices that are voiceless. They put up a very good struggle. You heard what happened there, and we are very grateful for that. So ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, allow me invite Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi. But before I invite Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, selector is very far. Let me have Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi to come and tell us something. But then there was you have Akamwani, but it is far. Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, sir.
Nyamba gwaliko onsharingire video eno. Bojjanga ku mukutu gwekola omulimu gumu onsharinge nze tobe n'ekifaananyi.
Secretary General, the National Organizing Secretary, honorable colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I have been given this opportunity. Let me first explain who I am. I'm a chairperson of the Parliamentary Caucus. And people should understand how I became a chairperson of Uganda Parliamentary Caucus. I'm deployed by the National Unity Platform to be chairperson of Uganda Parliamentary Caucus. It's because of our numbers in Parliament, in the caucus, that I managed to be elected a chairperson. Therefore, I give first accountability and to the party. That's why I'm going to explain how far this is taken. Now, coffee. Why coffee? Coffee today is grown by 12.5 million Ugandans. They are in the coffee sector. Coffee today, this financial year alone, and Uganda, net earnings, 1.4 billion US dollars. 1.4 billion translated in shillings is nearly 5 trillion Uganda shillings. That's so remarkable. And why today? So when we are speaking about coffee, we are not speaking about any other crop. Two, coffee transcends Uganda. It's a national crop. Actually, there is a type of coffee that is not grown in Uganda at all. That is Arabic coffee. It's grown in part of Western Uganda and in Bugisu region. But even today, coffee has transited. It's not in Bugisu, in Uganda, in parts of Rwenzori, no. Acholi, Busoga, West Nile, and all other regions. Actually, today, the most upcoming region in growing coffee is Western Uganda. Therefore, when we are speaking about coffee, we are speaking about Uganda in totality. So what's a crisis in Parliament? In Parliament, you are now dealing with a very big issue. Government come up, by the way, government of Uganda did not come up with the policy of rationalization. My 10 years as the shadow minister for finance, we made a case that government was too big, duplicating so many roles, being extravagant, and in our manifesto, we advocated for a lean, efficient government bureaucracy. So it's actually a national unity platform that has delivered the agenda for cleaning up the extravagance in government. And we should clap for ourselves. Therefore, there is nothing like government was winning, because it is President Yoweri, no, it is General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni who abolished all these other things. Now, from our standpoint, we are not totally against rationalization of agencies. And in Parliament, Honorable President, Your Excellency, agencies, even the agencies to be privatized, to be rationalized by government, is not all of them. Some have remained. The National Oil Company, the National Authority, including Kampala State Council Authority. If they want to talk about duplication, just go to Kampala State Council. They have a minister and a deputy minister. They have an executive director. They have a road mayor. They have a speaker, a very powerful speaker. So if they wanted to crowd out duplication, they should have started with the KCCA. And is for export. The countries where we export coffee have become very keen because of the new non-communicable diseases on what their citizens consume. So when you export to a country accredits you and satisfies you that the quality of the product you have exported, and for them they have imported, they are to a standard which will not cause health issues to their citizens. Therefore, for coffee, they accredited the Uganda Coffee Development Authority to have the power, to have the stamp, to the only authority that stamps every bag of coffee that gets exported out of this country. And when that accreditation is withdrawn, you can no longer export your product to some particular countries. Therefore, the struggle one is that if you dissolve, because Section 4 of the bill talks about dissolving UCDA. But let me tell the country, the talk of 3 years being marketed is not anywhere in the bill. The bill does not in any way talk about 4 years. They are talking about a dissolution of coffee UCDA instantly. When you dissolve, instantly you lose the accreditation. When you lose the accreditation, you can no longer export coffee. And therefore, this move by government, I don't know in which faith, is to ensure that the new wealth that has come up with adding up to 5 trillion is to really collapse the coffee. So we are telling the president, one, best practices for coffee. We're not the only coffee growing country. Ethiopia does, Kenya does, Brazil does, Honduras does, Vietnam does, Cambodia does, and a host of other countries. Now, the global market in its unique way for coffee is that coffee, not in any country, is being done through a main ministry. It's through an agency model. An agency model is like you have a special purpose vehicle for marketing coffee and growing coffee. And the thing about coffee export is about the quality of your coffee. However, the quality of coffee is not determined at export level. It is determined right from the nursery bed to how you organize your plantations, to how you harvest your coffee, how you dry it, how you roast it, and how you pack it and how you export it. So along that value chain, you need a 24-hour monitoring capability by a specific agency dedicated to ensure that at no stage, at every stage, you have to get it right. Therefore, when you crowd out coffee and dissolve the UCDA and put coffee in the Ministry of Agriculture, which has all agricultural products, which has tea, tobacco, ware, vanilla, blah, blah, you may lose that eagle eye for detail. And therefore, you may affect the quality of our coffee. Now, for those countries, it is a question of a random sample. When you export containers of coffee, they just pick a container and say, we are going to check this one. Once they check one, and it's not up to standard, they reject the whole consignment. Not the whole consignment, they review your accreditation. Therefore, if you want to rationalize coffee and to rationalize UCDA, you are removing an agency that has built expertise, capability, and knowledge, and the marketing capacity to market our coffee. And consequently, you will do so. We are not the first country to try to do what the government is trying to do. Ethiopia tried. Kenya, our neighbors, tried. They abolished their coffee board and coffee authorities and mainstreamed the coffee into the main ministry. In 3 years, they had lost 50% of their coffee exports. Common sense, once bitten, twice shy. If Kenya tried it and failed, and they are reverted back to the government, to the agency model, why do you want to reinvent the wheel? Why do you want to try something that has failed elsewhere? We are simply telling government, please don't do so. It's been tried elsewhere and found wanting. Secondly, if UCDA, because the argument of General 7 is that it is the Operation Wealth Creation that has led to this success, that is a wrong assumption. There have been so many, they could have played a small role. Operation Wealth Creation was only at a distribution of seedling stage. Seedlings they were distributing were coming from nursery beds that had been monitored and prepared, organized by UCDA. And from there afterwards, it is UCDA that has been taking over. Therefore, and also the case is, Operation Wealth Creation was not only for coffee, it was for vanilla, it was for mango, it was for limawa, it was for many other things. Let them show us the success of those other crops. Let them show us success, how they succeeded. Now, the Minister of Agriculture, the people from Chisoro, Kanungu, the Minister of Agriculture solely has been undertaking our tea. What happened to our tea? We lost accreditation. We cannot export as Uganda tea. What happens? We age our tea on the Kenyan market, and it's bought by Kenyans, packed Uganda tea, packed and stamped Kenya, and exported to the world. It has been under the watchful eye of the Ministry of Agriculture. They failed on fish until they are to put in the military. They failed on any. I've asked the Minister of Agriculture to give us one crop which they can give us to build the confidence as a benchmark where they have succeeded. Absolutely none. Therefore, we are saying this agency, by the way, in addition to being a chairperson of Uganda Parliamentary Caucus, I also chair Public Accounts Committee, still cutters of this paper, this party, and I've just made a very fundamental report, SD, on the national economy, to which government up to now is struggling to put a response. But that's for another day. I've just audited the Ministry of Agriculture. This is the ministry that is in intensive care. It is on oxygen. It is very, very sick ministry. It cannot score a plus on anything. It scores on the minuses. And therefore, this sick ministry, you cannot entrust it with your health what? Baby. Now, the president of the party, Honorable Robert Chabrani Setamu, in the morning, tasked me to come and explain to you why the parliamentary stand, why is the caucus. By the way, give due regards to our leader of opposition. For the first time in the history of Parliament, for as long as I've been there, and I've been there for 10 years, about 10, 12 years, for the first time, Honorable Robert, Right Honorable Joel Senyon was able to rally a minimum number of MPs that are required to challenge a decision of a speaker. Because ordinarily, the speaker has been using that window of I, and nay, and past dubious things from today. Courtesy of the record set by Joel Senyon will not permit the Speaker of Parliament to pass any other resolution which is anti-people without people voting and Ugandans knowing who has voted. So they will no longer hide under I is have it, no is have it, no. We will just stand up, 4 of us, and say, let's go to the vote. If the matter is that contentious, we will not do it on every other bill. But those that we feel that are so critical to the welfare of Uganda, I think thanks to the National Unity Platform and our leadership, that record, that ministry power for which Right Honorable Speaker Anita Among has been hiding to pass dubious budgets, dubious expenditure, Rocco, Atiaka, where we can now have the number and the courage to challenge it. That's not a minor's achievement. Mr. President, also our argument, because finally we are saying our position as a caucus is that don't rationalize, don't abolish UCDA. Rationalization means abolishing. Dissolving. Section 4 of the bill says we shall dissolve UCDA. We are saying best practices of goodwill is to do it through agency. And the president, Mr. President, you can no longer, and I think General Museveni is going to be cooked on this one properly. So we are in it for a long haul. It's not an issue we are going to give up. It will not stop on, even if the martial numbers, this one, we will struggle and take it to the people of Uganda and then tell the president, hands off. Actually, there has been a propaganda, which I will use, Mr. President, in a minute to debunk. The propaganda is that the president called me on the question of UCDA. The president did not call me. Led by the able leadership of the leader of opposition, we are agreed to do everything to talk to anybody to save coffee. So in the morning, we decided to meet the Speaker of Parliament and make our case and plead. You know, when you are weak, by the way, let us struggle to go to power. You plead with these people as if we are pleading with the angels on simple, obvious things. So in the morning, the Speaker knows. The caucus met the Speaker. And in the meeting, we made a case. The Speaker said, but you people are damn right. But my hands are tied. I'm sent to do this job with the president. And how much vicious way, a little bit dishonest, without seeking the opinion of the caucus, she called the president. There and there. Said, Mr. President, the caucus is here. It has made a good case. They think this bill is wrong and therefore it should be removed. That is their view. And without even they said, Chairman, here is the president. Here is General Museveni. So there were two things I could do: to refuse, and when I refused, she would have said, it's you as the chair of caucus who refused to speak to General Museveni. So what do? I said, okay, give me that General Museveni. Immediately said, you omutuju mu Luganda. Omutuju obuzaabuza abantu osigama wanga okola biki muli eyo mubuzaabuza abantu temutegeera. Very crude, unbecoming of a president. For someone he has never talked to. Then I said, okay, Mr. President, for me, I come from Butambala. When I meet a stranger, I greet him with salam. Okay, salam alaikum. Then he realized that civil people don't start addressing others so crudely. And he sobered up and said, now, okay, now I hear you now. What are you saying? I told him, Mr. President, what the hell do you want our coffee for? I gave him all the rationale. And said, you know, my government will not accept your propaganda, you are misleading people. I told him, Mr. President, you accept. I used it now, you can't call a president general. I said, yeah, General President, our stand at the caucus, our stand at the coffee growing community in Uganda, leave UCDA alone. And the business was closed. He said, you go to hell. You are just another radical Muganda. That's why on the floor of Parliament, by the way, all the time God is what? Now, the country did not know that this law had been brought to target a particular tribe until the Speaker of Parliament, on the floor of Parliament, now reviewed. She forgot to switch off the mic. That's when Katonda Mulimu, Katonda, God was fighting for the people of Uganda. She forgot to switch off the what? The mic, and made the blunder of all blunders. By the way, in other countries, if it had happened in Europe, in everywhere, Anita Among would have resigned yesterday. Two things happened. A Speaker of Parliament, whether you were appointed by the, for example, I'm a chairperson of Uganda Parliamentary Caucus. Much as I'm NUP, I have other members of caucus who are not NUP. I have members of caucus of NRM, of DP, of CP, of independent. As long as they come from what? This region. So when I'm in that chair, I don't necessarily take the national unity position. I tried to, even if it's the national unity platform position, I try to market it. But I try to try as much as possible to be neutral. Because that's a leadership code of what? Conduct. Now, the Speaker of Parliament is stopped by our rules of procedure to participate, to debate on a matter on the floor. But for her now to take side and say, do we have numbers? That means she had a side. Then use the staff of Parliament to say, please ensure these Uganda don't get the numbers. Now, the Speaker of Parliament in Uganda, we have anti-sectarian law. So the Speaker of Parliament abused the anti-sectarian law, and as therefore night, when Parliament resumes, tomorrow we are sitting as a caucus again to review our stand, but we don't think two things. We don't think Speaker Anita Among can no longer preside over that Parliament where they are Uganda. Because she's not going to take us away. Is she going to take us away? We are there on the rights of people, so she will not do that. Secondly, we've said, told her, if we really want, offer an equivocal apology to the people of Uganda and to the people of Uganda. Certainly, I've said, if you fail to do so, resign. The next action, I want to reveal it here. I need to first agree with our members, which we have, the idea we have. We may, we are saying we may, if she insists. But be as it may, we will ensure Parliament does not proceed on any other matter until that one is resolved. That is our stand. Finally, in English, the President wrote the other day that we are tribal. That the people, now, of the things I've said about coffee, what is tribe there? But let us examine President Yoweri Museveni on tribalism, where he has a moral authority whatsoever to call any group tribal. This is the president, so to say, for the first time, who appointed her wife a minister. His wife a minister. His son a CDF. His brother a small president. His Mako running the judiciary, running the coffee. Now, can we talk about tribe. For him, it's even beyond tribe. Is family. But also let us examine. If he doesn't have a conspiracy, because at the end of the day, I read the caucus, if he doesn't have a conspiracy against the people of Uganda, Vice President, he says, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, under his regime. Deputy is who? Arupo. Speaker, Anita who? Vice Speaker, Thomas who? Chief Justice, Prime Minister, there are 4. One is Nabanja, she's from Bunyoro. Deputy is Moses Ali. Third is Rebecca Kadaga. Another is Nakadam. Let's go to his direct appointments. Chief of Defense Forces, Muhozi who? Chief of Police, Abbas who? Chief of Prison is who? So where do you, Mr. President, get a moral authority? You, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, to say a particular group is sectarian. You should go and sleep over that. Then on coffee, so we have debunked his notion of tribalism. Then on coffee, sensible analogy. Some people, I bet one and others, have been trying to market some idea that we dismissed as a caucus. And let me stand here. 3 years, 5 years is not a position of the caucus. The position of caucus is for non-dissolution of UCDA. I've given a crude example for clarity. Can you take a virgin woman to a labor ward and say, let me keep you there, you are still virgin, but somehow you'll get a man, and along the way, you'll be pregnant, but you'll give birth in 3 months. You must be a crazy person. Therefore, 3 years don't mean anything. For us, we are saying coffee is too big a crop to be under the Ministry of Agriculture. It's too big a crop to be under the Ministry of Agriculture, and we are going to do everything possible. But remember, members of national platform and the country, MPs are not enough. You people, I thank each of you who have been on social media, who have been using every platform, every media to amplify this message. Please, thank you so much. But let's do more. Tomorrow we shall announce an action plan on how we are going to fight this issue for the next 1 or 2 weeks. It is half time. It could be 1-0. But there's still another half to play for. There is still clause 4, for which we are going to resist. Clause 4 is for dissolution of UCDA, the caucus, and other members. And please, do a roll call of all members of the Uganda caucus who never attended the meeting. Where were they? Each of them must account. Where were you when coffee was being taken? No, that will never be in Uganda. Sichechu. Katebigambo byamwanyi, Mr. President, I thank you so much, Your Excellency. Mu Uganda kantandikira lijja lukomye. Twasijja kulwawo. Ekisokera ddala President tasobola kujja wano takyalina moral authority General Museveni. Museveni tokyalina moral authority kuyita muntu yenna tribal. Teri ali tribal gwe Museveni. Gwe singa okuba tribal. Gwe President wa Uganda yakasooka okulonda mukyala wo n'omufuula minisita. N'olonda mutabani we Kaiti akulira amagye. Muganda wo General Salim Saleh y'omu kati alinga naye President omuto. N'akwata bakoddomi be kati mpulira mukoddomi we omulwabo ogwo. Ngenda basomera wano kampani zemanyi okumanya Museveni alimba lowooza tuli badongo. Gwe twogerera yemaze dda okucontractinga ebitongole ebimu okutunda emwanyi. Era ngenda bibagulira wano nga mala. Mutegeere nti ekimutwaze emwanyi atewo UCDA kugissa mu nsonda agiwe penalty. Kugissa mu nsonda agiwe ki bwaboogo. yamaze dde okukola endagaano ne kampani y'abachina Chinese Construction Company okugenda okutunda emmwanyi wa China. Ekinaavaamu zino emmwanyi zijja kukola ebbeeyi ku faamu y'omulimi. N'olwekyo ku kiri ekya tribe, Mr. President, tukuyite mukyawano naye gavumenti yo gye walonda General Museveni katugitunulemu bw'oba Abaganda tubalinaako kikyamu. Olaba omusajja oyo Ssaabasajja nga mugagga nga mulwadde ng'ayagala obujjanjabi ng'abanja gavumenti ya General Museveni bilioni 2.5 teyasobola dde okumuwaako bilioni 5 musajja watu yejjanjabi. Omutya omulwadde alwadde akubanja n'otamuwa ssente n'otamusasula ki ssente ze. Nene kyala walonda kabineti katugitunulemu ssebo omumyukawo alupo Speaker Parliament yo kwa bayisa mukokasi yo Anita Among tayebwa ya myuka omulamuzi Winnie Dolo ba Prime Minister bali bana bali ye Winnie Dolo ba Prime Minister bali bana asooka ye Nabbanja mukazi Munyolo amudira Moses Ali ava mu West Nile amudira Rebecca Kadaga Mushoga owokusatu Nakadama Mushoga. Seba Abaganda bakola ki? Butera ye Deputy Chief Justice. Butera ne mubaloya nga tusomya amateeka wano tofunayo wadde n'omu ogwakale beerako omumyuka wa Chief Justice. N'ogenda n'olonda amagye n'ogawa Muhoozi Kainerugaba, n'olonda poliisi n'ogiwa baasi, n'ogenda n'olonda ki prison n'ogiwa byaki byabasajja. Kati atukwata yani ye Muhoozi Kainerugaba na baasi atusali pulira by the way. Ani akulye kooti y'amagye abaana baffe gye babadde yani ne kooti y'amagye naye yamuki ya Mugabe. Ne bagenda ku bitongole ebikesi ani director wa ISO ana mumyuka Katabazi ani director wa ESO ba DPC bonna sebo president byamawanga biveeko sirika Museveni sirike ku byamawanga amawanga waliyo ne byabakama yakulya akakiko kaki k'ebyokulonda. Kakati gwe sebo musajja gwe General Museveni ojawa notengerera nossa ekiwandiiko nti abo b'amawanga teri akusinga kusosola amawanga okujjako gwe. Naye wali ogenda mu nsiko ate si National Unity Platform mugirabe Secretary General waffe ye Lubongoya kiki ekyo oyo Muganda oyo Muganda. Kakati ffe awo twasukkawo dda awo wooli mu mawanga emboozi y'amawanga giveeko totubuzaabuza. Ensonga eziri mu ddiiro bbiri. Ensooka emmwanyi togikwatako. Eyokubiri Anita Among eyakoze byakola togenda mumwekwekamu yekwekebwo ng'ogenda kutusaasaanya ku mawanga. Anita must go. Kati ebyo byotuwulira ebirala mboozi kinyumya olulala tulikinyumya nga tukutwala ewa Mukama Katonda. So totunyumya tetwagala abavuga ennaku zino bagamba tetwagala kola ki manya. Tetwagala kola ki manya. Twagala ebintu bibiri. Emmwanyi giveeko. Anita must resign. Zensonga mmeka? Bbiri. Kati totunyumiza mawanga biki biri byonna byetugamba kyemmwanyi bajasi be bagikolako obulima abo bwe bakolako bulibwa. Vanilla gwe bakolako aliwa balimye abantu obusaanyi buliwa. Eyo Ministry gy'Agriculture gyotwala emmwanyi zaffe nakamala gikolako audit. Eyo ye Ministry yagula embuzi mukitegera yagula embuzi emu obukadde 7 embuzi emitwalo 2 ne zifa mu wiiki 2 nga baziguza obukadde buki buli mbuzi zafa mu wiiki 2 wajja wakyali mbuzi naki ye Ministry yagula tractor abatamanyi tractor ekikola tractor hydraulic system eyo yesitula yagula tractor nezitwala Karamoja nga kuli number plate naye nga zagenda nga hydraulic system zaazo tezikola ziri eyo mu Uganda zonna. Eyo Ministry bagiwa okutukuza amazzi ag'ennimiro etulageyo pampu n'emu. Eyo Ministry ndwadde erwadde covid eri mu ICU tosobola kutwalayo bebi waffe emwanyi yagenda nekuleeta nuance. What happened? Ebyennyanja byagirema, buli kimu kyakikola ki negirema, kyatasobola kuluma kutuuza mu mawanga. Mwebaza ababaka ba Parliament 7 kuwalonze bavudde ni all of Uganda wonna mwavaddemu abakyoli bolanya abaani abagisutu abadde nabo. Mr. President, amawanga mwene ensonga tegagenda kukola ki kukola okakozesa kukuumanya Amongo eyagenze n'akola ki mu General Museveni eno ensonga tegenda kukola ku nsonga eno tukkirize tukutwale. Naye tumugambe na kino mu abantu bawa lubalembera ng'erimbere kokoze ki kati buli omu twebaza abali ku social media. Waliwo omwana yakinkoledde senga mumanyi yagenze n'akuba emandwa n'akuba omukongozi emandwa kanyunyusi yakoze omulimu. Waliwo abawala tulabye nga boogera ebigambo ebirungi ku social media. Buli omu gyali speak so act like so. Tujja genda mu maaso, tujja kuwangula. Ssaabasajja Kabaka awangaale. Kakati banzijukiza wano giri emyaka 2 egya Bedi Bwanika 3 ebyo bibye 5 ebyo bibye for position ya caucus eri clear. Ekyesimu nze Muwanga Kivumbi nsulira ne President General Museveni enamba yange tagiina. Twali twegayirira banange tubonaabona twegayirira speaker ku makyalo tutegeere tugenda mu Parliament kulwana nenkunga ababaka ba Parliament bonna abatagala mwanyi tugende tusinkane speaker. Betuba twali twogera ne speaker ategedde nnyo nga mulabika muli batuufu nnyo. Ensonga zammwe ngeze ez'amagezi, ensonga zammwe nga eza common sense, naye n'ensonga President yagituma zisobola gibasalirawo mu ngeri y'olukwesikwesi. N'akwata essimu nga tuli mu meeting awo n'ababaka bonna n'akubira President nti amubuulire bitwogedde oba teyabimubuulira bulungi nabanga tabitegedde bulungi. Naye mukazi wattu oluvannyuma naga nti kale ne chairman atwala abaana ababaka waali yogera naye ng'atuteza lukote bubiri. Betugaana okwogera ne General Museveni ajja kugamba nti ffe abantu ffe twawaayo emwanyi twagaana okwogera ne President. Nemukakale nze ndi musajja ate oyo agenda kunkola ki n'agimpa n'antandika mu ngeri etali ya bulijjo. N'agamba gwe omaze ebbanga lyonna ng'oli mutujju nga nkunoonya. N'agamba nti kakati gwe oli eyo musiriwaza abantu mwonoona abantu musiga bukyayi bw'amawanga n'ayombera eddakiika naye musajja gwe n'enkola eyaffe ey'okufirika omuntu buli gw'otamanyi osooka n'okola ki n'omubuuzaako. Ne bakale nze yakuzibwa obulungi kakutolera essalaamu kamuguze ku mpisa benamuligiza ku mpisa olwo n'addamu akomuti kale ogamba ki ne munyonyola ku mwanyi kyemwanyi giveeko togikwatako y'abantu baffe ye maama ye taata yetubeezaawo kireke ne munyonyola by the way wakati w'emmwanyi n'amafuta. Namugamba amafuta kwoteredde bitongole National Oil Company ebisaawe ebiki senga tukasima okumala emyaka 25 tugenda kufuna billion US dollars 22 ebyo biri mu ndagaano billion dollars 20 mu meka mu 2 okumala emyaka 20 mu ki mu 5 si buli mwaka mu myaka 25 billion dollars 20 mu dola baro ya mafuta ejagula $5 olwaleero baro egula 10 n'ekyo amafuta gano gonna gemulaba bakuba jjejerebu bakola biki tugenda kugafunamu billion dollars ng'eggwanga kubanga endagaano mbi. Nanyonyola ddanga ndi finance minister kyamafuta Museveni yagatunda tetunakola ki tetunalaba General Museveni tugenda kufunamu busente butono nnyo. Emwanyi leero twalese 1.4 billion tetunafuna million bags 20 tugenda kuba tulina billion 3 the trillion 10 buli mwaka zetugenda kwa nga tukola ki nga tufuna mu myaka 25 emwanyi ejja kubeerese billion 7.5 n'ekyo diru y'emwanyi esinga y'amafuta ogenda wala kyovola balese lwabogo alese simanyi inspire Uganda atiwadde abachina beneti twamugobesa bugobesi mujjukire bulungi ekyaha ekiri emabega kyatagetinga Baganda. Mwamutegedde Your Excellency, we bali kunonda n'empulira n'embeera finance minister, n'embeera chair wa caucus, n'embeera chair wa paaka, senga sigwe senga siriiwo ompadde ne ku ssente Ssaabasajja Kabaka akole ki mbimanyi mbikola lwa President Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. Mukama Katonda akuwe obuwangazi omuwewe ekiseera kyonna.
Bubagambako obuyaye bwakubwa naye nkya tugenda kubeera ku Paali FM ku byemwanyi ebyo. Honorable Kirumira Hassan Kulaba, he has joined us. Mayor Serunjogi Owedembe, you're most welcome. Doctor, that one is very educated. He has a doctorate in what? Public administration. Dr. Serunjogi Owedembe. Yes, even today we have Kaluya. I talked about you. Oh, the man from the eastern Uganda. And of course our PPS is with us. Sarah Mwonge, you're most welcome. We have Honorable Katabazi, he joined us, you're most welcome. We have Honorable Serukenya David, you're most welcome. Martin de Sabagabo. So Mr. Mwanga Chivumbi, Permanent Secretary wa Ministry of Agriculture, bamuita Meja Chasura Chomukama. Naye Minister wa Agriculture, mu by'okubba yafuna omuddaali mu ministry gye yali bamuita Tumwebazi. Ye mumyuka wa Minister wa Agriculture. Hano mumyuka era Mirama. Bana ye Museveni toli musosozi. Uliriza, aina la Mirama atamanya gegamuze. Sitakwatanga ameda la Mirama. Tumwebaze. Meja Choli Sima. They are the ones managing where they want to send the coffee. Atenga Lwabogo bwe bawazire billioni ennyamwena mu igo kunywa kaawa naye kubabeka wana abafuna ku kaawa oyo gwe yagabira abantu Lwabogo. Era ne mu Parliament ya Uganda Anita Amongo ya facilitating Lwabogo okufuna Lwabogo yawasa muwala wa Museveni kati oyo mukodomi waki wa Museveni. Omulimu gwakola kati gwa kutunda kaawa bamuwa $1,000,000 ze billioni 3.7 anonya katale. Nawe bakuwa $1,3.7 no banga overe wife mu kyalo idudi wallahi osobola ononya bakuwa abafuna aina 37 billioni nya kunywako mbwa abanywa abantu bayigo kunywa kaawa kyokati ne bamongera 3.7 agenda mutunda ebweru yo yayogera ku mawanga. So byonna bali mu kwesi yeye nyini kuba twagamba nti Pineti ye Museveni teri Pineti ye Museveni. So Museveni akozesa kati government eno gye yawamba okuwa Pineti okwewa naye mwebali nnyo mwebali ddala bakaba Parliament era tuli mabega wamwe ffe twabagamba nti abantu abo olwakweyerusa si beerufu nnyo naye nga balowooza tulimba. She's a mafia. So ffe byokumujja mu ntebe tujja kubawakira ndoza ne NUP ejja kubawakira kuba that has been our position since then. Mr. Secretary General, come and address the press and also invite the President.
Thank you very much. Obugalo bwa Comrade Wise wa Alex Mfumbiro. People power. Our power. Mr. President, members of NEC present, members of Parliament, mayors, speakers, councillors, fellow leaders at different levels. I think I will not say much because I think Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi has done as well to elaborate what is going on. Tubadde twanjula candidate waffe ne poster eyo katugirage bannamawulire agenda kwaniriza president abantu balage nti tuli serious kati tugenda Kisoro very soon. Please put it up very well. Secondly, I want to announce to you, ladies and gentlemen, we have been telling you that we are soon resuming our nationwide tour, and next week we shall start our nationwide tour. I don't want to tell you which district we are going to, but it will be in that man's region. Honorable Kaluya, we are going to feature as an Eastern region. Next week tutandika tujja kubeera mu Eastern Uganda, era abantu ba Eastern Uganda mutulinde tukolaki tujja. Yes, isn't this a wonderful poster for our candidate in Kisoro? So we are going to be in Kisoro. The nominations are going to be this week in Kisoro, and we shall all be there to support our candidate. Tugenda kubeera mu district ya Kisoro nga bwe mbagambye regime already erimu kulaga first of all okutya kyovolaba bakoze buli kimu kyonna kyonna okulaba nga batuwa akabanga akatono nnyo for campaigns. Bweraba district erina egombolola 24 naye ne bakuwa ennaku 12 zokka okukampeininga. Ate mumanye nti ebyo ebitundu biri diverse. Olaba osobola okuva mu kitundu kimu ng'olina ovuga essaawa 2 okutuuka mu kitundu ekirala, naye okuba tebaagala tutuukeyo kyova olaba batuwadde baagala tubeere mu gombolola 2 mu lunaku lumu, which is not practical. Mujjukire kye baakola last time mu kaluluko bwa president. Edda etteeka lyali likyogera bulungi nti presidential candidate alina okubeera mu district emu buli lunaku, naye mu kulonda kuno kwaggwa kubanga baali batutya nnyo batulemesa ne twesanga tulina okukola district 3 buli lunaku. Kati bye bakola ebyo kyova olaba awamu twali tugendayo ssaawa 4 ez'okumakya ne tuvaayo nga tulina okubeera wala ssaawa 6, ate tuveeyo tugenda walala ssaawa 8 oba 9, era ne bakugamba ba ssaawa 12 olina okuba olekeddaawo okukampeininga. Kati njakiseeyo mukitegeera mwenna nti bakimanyi bulungi nnyo nti singa tufuna ekiseera ekimu n'abantu b'Ekisoro ne tutuuka mu buli kitundu kyonna mu district eyo, baba tebalina kye balimba bantu kubanga bo batambulira ku bulimba byabadde ayogerawo kandidate waffe 100%. Bagenda ne basiriwaza abantu tebabawa services. Mwala bajuzi twagendayo president waffe bwe yakyalira abantu beeyo abatwa n'asanga nga tebalina tanks, tebalina kyakozesa kyonna, era ne tugenda ne tubadde balingira tanka n'emmere bwe bityo. Kakati abantu abo ne tugezaako okubagula amaaso. Kati kyova olaba batuwa period ntono nnyo eyo campaigninga kubanga tebaagala tutuuke eri abantu tubazuukuse tubagule amaaso. Naye ekyenjagala obakakasa tugenda kubeerayo, era tubasaba mwenna abasobola mugende mubeere Ekisoro, at least mukole ekintu kimu kyonna ekyokuzibula bano abantu amaaso okulaba nti 100% tekola kuba 100% kudirukinga abantu tebalina byakulya, abantu tebalina mayumba, tebalina we basula, abaana tebasoma. Eyo district is one of the poorest districts in Uganda. Eyo gyetwogerako Kisoro. Naye n'owulira nga wasiriwaza ba RDC bagenda ku zi radio ne bagamba 100%, ekitegeeza 100%. Mu kulonda okwagwa bwe baalaba bye twali tukola ne bakwata bano abantu abasinga ne babasiba, candidates agents baffe ne babasiba n'ebirala bwe bityo. So tujja Ekisoro okulaba nga candidate waffe Honorable Tana kanguyite ne Honorable nga bukyali, naye temulaba nti asobolera ddala bwa Honorable amusobolera ddala already confirmed. Kale abanawe nga si tutebudde bonna bulala, I don't want to waste any other time. Yeah, before that's a very important thing. Before I invite the president, our comrade Achileo is here. Where is he? Comrade Achileo, who just returned from detention for a very long time. Well, if you feel like giving up, remember how you started. I can see your sweat and the tears in your eyes. Everything shows you want to give up.
I can feel your pain and your grief and your fears and all your frustrations.
People power. Sebo tukusanyukidde okulaba olunaku olwaleero okubanga ye press conference yo esoose okubeera wano. Ono mukulu yatutwala wano mu nsonga za security ku kitebe kyaffe. Omanyi bulungi nnyo be bamutuusaako n'ebirala bwe bityo. Naye nammwe njagala kubeebaza mwenna abadimandinga for the release of Comrade Akireewo. Mwebale nnyo abaabeeranga bakuleetedde sapule kubanga abasajja bwe bakwata Akireewo kye basooka okukola mukimanyi bulungi nnyo, bamwambula sapule ye era President n'ajja wano n'agibalaga. Mwebale nnyo 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 Honorable. Eno yavudde Vatican era ndaba n'ekifaananyi kya Papa weekiri. Muganda waffe Akireewo, thank you for coming back. Ate webale nnyo okukoma ng'oli strong. Webale nnyo, webale ddala. Mr. President, without taking any other time, let me invite you to come and address these people and the nation. People power. Our power. NUP. Everywhere. NUP. Everywhere.
Thank you.
People power. Our power.
Share,
NUP. And everywhere.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please resume your seats. Thank you, SG. Bobby Giant, I want to congratulate them. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time on Saturday. Congratulations, comrade. Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi did justice to this matter, and that has helped me. I'm going to be very, very brief on this coffee bill. Although Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi was a little too diplomatic, and he had a lot of English, like all experts. But in simple terms, this coffee bill is an attack on coffee farmers in Uganda. And this is not Anita Mong's bill, this is Museveni's bill. Museveni is the architect of this bill. Among and others are only enablers. This is not the first attempt. Museveni tried to take your coffee hiding behind Pineti. So this is yet another attempt, and he will not stop until we stop not just the bill, but the man himself. It is no secret. He has a very, very clear path, a clear trail behind him. Remember what happened to vanilla. Once upon a time, a kilo of vanilla was 300,000 shillings. And now, it's 10,000 shillings, I think. 3,000 a kilo. But the price of vanilla on the international market has not reduced. But now, it's just a few people, Sudil San and a few people connected to the powerful are the ones that own Uganda's vanilla, all your vanilla. Not only vanilla. Abasoga Maliwo, you know what happened to the sugar cane? They started by zoning, now you know how much a sugar cane is. The price of sugar just continues to go up. Same thing that happened to many other things, including Mairunji. Pineapples, etc, etc, etc. The people that come from West Nile, you know what happened to tobacco. No wonder you don't have thriving, distributors, you don't have Sportsman, Benson and Hedges, and all those other cigarette factories and manufacturers here anymore. It was, and all the gold mines, not Mohozi, it is Sodo. And others. You know what is happening to our fish. You cannot fish on our golden lakes given to a few people. So me, I want to be blunt and say that all lucrative sectors are given to Museveni's family in a way of colonizing you further, of taking away your national wealth, of making sure they control your income, because only poor people can be effectively controlled. That is what Museveni is doing. Now, deputy RDCs, assistant deputies. Sounds like a joke, but it's true. That is Museveni for you. The same person who claims he wants to cut costs has 82 ministers. Many of them, I'm sure he does not know them. That's a person who's claiming he wants to cut costs. He has presidential advisors. He uses 2 billion every day. He oversees the loss of 10 trillion shillings in corruption. The same person who could control it. It is under his protection that one of his courts smuggled a bill of 9.6 billion shillings. Apparently, like Comrade Wise was saying, to teach Ugandans how to drink coffee. That is the person who is claiming to want to cut costs. In the Dubai Expo, they spent 3 billion of our money just to hire a stall. Umdala, Mumore Sogwe Dubai, 3 million in Kumisa. The same person, the same regime that claims they want to cut costs under State House alone. I mean, he claims he wants to merge, and that's a lie, it's not merging. Like Honorable Mwanga Chipumbi put it clearly, Section 4 of that bill puts it clear. They want to scrap UCDA and put it under Ministry of Agriculture. But the same person knows that we have URA, but he created the Revenue Intelligence Unit and gave it to a thief with a budget. The same person claiming we have Ministry of Lands, but he created land protection unit under State House. It goes on and on and on and on and on. You have IGG, but you have State House anti-corruption unit. So, I mean, those things of saying they're cutting costs, it's a lie. It's a wrong excuse. But that's the Museveni that we have known all the time. And those of you that didn't know him, now that is the Museveni for you today. Our farmers, our coffee producers have wailed, they've said, save UCDA, it's helpful. Because indeed it's helpful. Yes, our coffee is not as vibrant as it was in yesteryears. But UCDA has been very helpful. Under UCDA, you've seen that coffee farmers have been happy. They've noticed a growth in the production of coffee, in the value of coffee on the international market, etc., etc., etc. So, why then stop something that's functioning well to reduce it to a system of things that have failed? You have seen the corruption in the Ministry of Lands, even before the current minister. I mean, the same Lands Ministry oversaw the selling of national ranches to individuals, companies, and groups. And now, that's the same ministry under which you want to place our coffee. In a brief, Museveni wants to place our coffee in the hands of Rwamirama, in the hands of Tumwesije, in the hands of, who is the permanent secretary? That's where Museveni wants your coffee. So this, in no uncertain terms, is an attack on the pockets of the coffee growers, and he knows who the coffee growers are. It is a plan to have a few people take your coffee and control you financially and economically. Also, the idea of putting a plant in Tungamo is not practical. Why? Because coffee growers are scattered all over the country. You have to tell me coffee from Bugisu has to first travel and go to Ntungamo. And what was the logic behind that? Is Ntungamo the most vibrant coffee growing district in Uganda? You know the reason why they're doing that. So, ladies and gentlemen, looking at the spirit in which this bill was brought, I can tell you it is an attack. And I mean, God is wonderful. It works in different ways. And it among, in English there's a kind of tongue slip called a Freudish slip, where you accidentally spill the beans and say out what is on your heart. In Uganda, there's a mandwa bakita batya mu Luzungu. Mandwa. In Uganda waliwo mandwa gye bayita bwanika. Ekutemba n'ovaayo n'obyogera nga totegedde. So, it's not very good to joke with this Baganda because they have that mandwa. Now Anita Mong ended up spilling the beans. So, this bill, ladies and gentlemen, I will be crude. This bill is intended to punish the people of Uganda and the people of Bugishu and all those coffee growers for voting Museveni out. They are looking for all avenues where you earn a coin and they want to steal for it. What they have done to vanilla, what they are doing to the lakes and all the water bodies is what they want to do to the coffee. And if you don't fight back, they will succeed. You remember these people wanted to take your land by bringing an amendment to ensure that when the government, and you know the government is Museveni, that when the government wants your land, they first take it and then tell you how much they will pay. If you didn't fight, you would have lost the land. If you don't fight this time, you're in big trouble. So this is a way of clamping down on you. It is intended to impoverish you because poor people will always be beggars. That is the intention. The coffee industry, ladies and gentlemen, here in Uganda is sustaining more than 2 million families. Did you say 2.5? Yeah, in Uganda. 12 or 2? Families. Wow, not 2, I was wrong. 12 million families are surviving on coffee. And now, somebody wants to take them on their knees using this bill. And if you don't fight, my friends, that's exactly what you are facing. I request you to reject it firmly. But most importantly, and this is very important, please note it, that those that are presenting that bill and those that are speaking for that bill are not innocent. They are not only expressing an opinion. No, this attack is a crime. It's a crime on you impoverishing people deliberately. It's a crime. It's supposed to be a crime. And these people speaking for that bill, for that deliberate effort to impoverish our people, they are not innocent. They are not only expressing an opinion. They are part of that project. They are part of that plan. They have a duty. Their role is just to speak. Their role is a propaganda role. You need to understand this. In every attack on a people, everyone has a role. The military has a role to brutalize you. The so-called intellectuals have a role to go on TV, put on ties, and speak a lot of intellectual dishonesty to sanitize it. So this is an attack on people which will have dire consequences if you don't fight back. And those people speaking for it should be equally culpable. They are not innocent. So treat them just like their masters, because they are serving a role Their role is a propaganda role, and that propaganda role is very, very effective in breaking a people. Very, very sadly, some of them are paid. Not just paid, but they are paid members of that affected group of people. I'll say that again. Some of those are paid members of that affected group of people, because they know that the affected group of people will trust them and believe them easily. They are criminals too. Amongst words, ladies and gentlemen, we are not a mistake. Did you see them in Parliament on that day? I'm asking, did you see them on Parliament that day? Have you heard anything from them? Hopefully the first word they speak when they show up will not be Kyagulanyi tayagala Buganda yasindikiriza nani tamongo kwogera ebigambo ebyo. I hope this opens your mind. I hope this shows you that this regime attacks different groups differently. Nobody is safe. What happened in Karamoja when they took their minerals that would have transformed their lives is exactly what happened in Busoga when they crushed the sugar cane. That is what is going to happen to Bukisu, to Buganda, and many other regions in Uganda that benefit from coffee. Coffee can be coming out. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to also talk about our political prisoners who are forced to take a guilty plea. These are innocent people. When I was speaking last time, I encouraged all of you to stand with them, to be kind to them, to understand them. I also want to inform you that the regime has no limits on how far it can go with this shamelessness. Now, apparently, they want to take those people to Chankwanzi as soon as they come out of prison. I spoke to one of them, our sister Olivia Rutaya. She knows I understand, and she knows many of you understand. She expressed her fears and told us that whatever we can do, we should help her and other friends that have not weakened yet to defend them, because once they are convicted, all they have to do is serve their sentence and get the hell out of prison. Museveni and his regime have no power or responsibility over Olivia Rutaya and those prisoners. So after their sentence, they should be freed. But that will not happen unless if you raise your voices. Please don't forget them. Continue raising your voices for them. I also want to remind us, all of us, about our missing brothers. Up to now, several years later, our brother John Bosco Chibalama is still missing. On Saturday, his twins, who are now 8 years, they were 2.5 years when he was as their father. But it's not only Chibalama John Bosco. We have Damolila John, we have Wangolo Shafik, we have Lukwago Martin, we have Semodu Michael, Musisi Mbowa, we have Nalumo Vincent, Zemola Dennis, Kanata Muhammad, Katua George, Mbabazi John, Moses, Sempija Yuda, Mugumia Arafat, Chitio Peter, Muemba Mustafa, Mobiru Hassan, Sesazi Isma, Chisembo Godfrey, and those are the few that we were able to know. They are still missing. We still want them back, dead or alive. So Museveni and your people, please bring back our people. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Muzikirize mbizene mu Luganda pola mpola. Basebo ne banyabo, already namazedda okuyozayoza candidate waffe Comrade Tana, Honorable Tana, candidate waffe wa Kisoro district. Already maze okukulisayo muganda waffe Akireewo mu Batuju, ate nga bo bayita bannaabo Abatuju. Maze okuyozayoza mwannyinaffe Swabula Omukisa ne Chaliwe Bobby Giant batuweeseza ekitiibwa over the weekend.
Honorable Mwanga Kivumbi atukoze bulungi nnyo kuba ensonga z'emmwanyi azinnyonnyodde bulungi, naye nga bwe ŋŋambye nti yabadde decent nnyo, abadde mukkakkamu nnyo ng'ayogera ku nsonga zino, n'olulimi akozeseza olulimi olw'ekigunjufu kuba bwe kirina okubeera. Ekyennaku nk'ebiseera ebimu bw'oba oyogera ku nsonga ez'abantu abataliimu bugunjufu n'akamu, abataliimu kuswala n'akamu, ze ndowooza nti wabawo ekiseera ebigambo wotolina bibikkirira n'obyogera nga bwe biri. So munzikirize yes okutanya ensonga za Honorable Mwanga Kivumbi ze mbyogere bwogezi nga bwe biri, nti lino etteeka ly'emmwanyi okujjawo Uganda Coffee Development Authority okuginyiga mu ministry y'ebyobulimi. First of all, kya bulimba, balimba nti baagala biga tabokasi, baagala kujjawo kitongole kya UCEA bakiteeke mu ministry y'ebyobulimi. Ministry eyo ekulirwa Frank Tumwebaze nga Minister of State ye Fred Wamirama, ate nga permanent secretary yani Ikamukamu. Abantu bennyini betulabye gye buvuddeko nga buli ministry gye bakoleddemu babadde banyaguluzi bunyaguluzi. Ministry yennyini eyo ebyobulimi mumanyi party yazanya mu kutunda n'okugabangula branches oba amalundiro agali a government agali mu mayiro ne mayiro ez'ettaka. Naye ng'ekyo kivuddeko njagala ensi yonna ekimanye nti obwo bulumbaganyi obwakoleddwa ku balimi b'emmwanyi nga baagala obbaavuwaza, nga baagala obbafukamiza kubanga abaavu bafugika. Eryo etteeka si lya Anita Mongo, eryo etteeka lyabagiddwa Museveni. Anita Mongo ne banne just bakozi, n'eryo etteeka lyabagiddwa Museveni. Abazze batunulira ensonga munajjukira nti tekitandise kati, ate mwanyi tebazitandise kati, bayagala oddozitwala. Naye ekyo ekintu kimu kye bakola kuvanira obulamu bwabwe. Mujjukira yali egula emitwalo 3, naye kaakati nze mbagamba kira egula mutwalo, Honorable Katabazi n'aŋŋamba nedda oli ku bikadde kati egula 3,000. Ekiboga be bagitunda ebbeeyi bagitunda 5,000, yali ku mitwalo ameka? 3. Njagala obajjukiza akatale ka vanira tekasalanga tekakenderanga mu nsi yonna. Ku katale k'ensi yonna vanira kyagula kyekimu. Naye mu abalimi baagala babafootolere wano kubanga bataddewo etteeka toyina woyinza mu ttunda oyina muguza ffe. Kakati abantu abagula vanira bali 3 ku 4 nga mwabo mwe muli mutabani wa Sudiru. Kwe kamba making sure obugagga bw'ensi yonna babukwata ne babusa mu bantu 3 oba 4, either abaabo ab'omunju oba bagwirayo basobola okontrolinga. Tebakikomya ku vanira, ekyo bakikola ku bikajjo era abaana b'e Busoga mumanyi bulungi twakula tumanyi cash crop eve Busoga bikajjo nga Basoga beewana n'ebikado kati waiswa era ddamu weewane n'ebikajjo se. Bwe batyo bwe bakola Museveni bwe yasobola okunafuya ebyennyingiza ebyenfuna by'Abaganda baffe ab'e Busoga n'abalala abatali Busoga naye abaalimanga ebikajjo tebyalimwanga Busoga naye kubanga bisinga kulimwa Busoga be baali target people era nasobola ekibatuusaako. Mu ngeri emu baganda bange njagala mujjukire gye buvuddeko myezi mitono basalako amayirungi era abalimi b'amayirungi bali mu kweyaguza lujjo. Nova ku ekyo tebakomawo bagenda ku buli sekita na buli bantu balima kintu. Ab'omu West Nile bwe baali basinga okulima wano Taba, ekyo nakyo ekigwa bwe kityo. Abaana b'omwankole si bya bulimi byokka byokka, tunulira gold. Kati gold wa family ya Museveni yekkirizibwa yokka okusuubula gold okumufulumya eggwanga ate nga tesasula na musolo. Ebirombe bya gold mu Uganda byonna kati bya family bakola ebyennyanja kati ennyanja zonna basalako okuvubirako olina kubeera waabwe. Bwe batyo bagenze banyigiriza ebyenfuna by'abannansi kakati saawa zino bali ku mmwanyi. So njagala mukimanye nti eno effort obono kawefube ng'okufaanana ku kaweefu omulala abaddewo wakubavuwaza kubakakanya kubafukamiza mubere nga temuyina kimugamba okujjako nga mufukamiridde Museveni oba abafamire ye. Of course aboogezi be bavuddeyo nga bagamba nedda twagala kukendeeza ku nfulumya, tetusobola kubeera ne ministry ebyobulimi ate nga tulina n'ekitongole ekikulakulanya emmwanyi ekya Uganda Coffee Development Authority. Naye kambabuuze, omuntu agamba nti ayagala kugatta bitongole bino okufulumya ssente kukendeere, ye muntu y'omu ayina baminisita 82 abamu tabamanyi na mannya. Mujjukira Amini ayina baminisita bameka 18. Museveni ayina baminisita 82. Oyinza n'okkeera ku makya ng'ayongereko omulala. Ayina ba RDC n'ateekako ne ba deputy RDC, kati ataddeko ne ba assistant deputy RDC. Abo bonna basasulwa ku ssente ya muwamusolo wa Uganda, naye agamba teyagala kola ki kukendeeza kwejajamya n'ansaasanya. Ye muntu y'omu akozesa biliyoni 2 buli lunaku. Biliyoni 2 oyinza okugamba ze bafumbisa baziteeka mu kyoto. Ye muntu y'omu abantu be babba triliyoni 10 buli mwaka kuzimaze okusolozebwa mu musolo, zo balinda nga zimaze okusolozebwa ne basooka ne batemako ezaabwe. Ye muntu y'omu agamba nti kati emmwanyi ayagala ginyiga mu ministry ey'ebyobulimi, naye nga ministry nyingi bwe ziri. Waliwo ministry ey'ebyobulamu, ministry of health, naye under State House yateekawo health monitoring unit naye nagiwa budget number eringa ministry. Tulina Uganda Revenue Authority naye yataddewo Revenue Intelligence Unit mu State House nagiwa budget naye eringa ya ministry. Tulina ekitongole kya IGG Inspector General of Government naye yateekawo State House Anti-Corruption Unit naye nagiwa budget eringa ya ministry. Yagamba nti ayagala kugatta ze ministries. Tulina Ministry of Lands naye yateekawo State House Land Protection Unit nagiwa budget naye eringa ya ministry. Naye agamba tikukyemmwanyi tusaasanya ssente nyingi nnyo. So njagala mumanye ti bino byakubasiruwaza naye ng'ekigendererwa kubaabuwaza, agenza okulaba mu mwanyi mugaggawala nnyo. N'agamba nazo kazikwateko ate nga bwemunakkiriza nazajja zitwala. Museveni tagenda kyalina kyagenda balekera. Mujjukira banga toneriise era yagala kutwala ttaka lyammwe lyonna ng'ayagala kuyisa tteeka nti gavumenti, ate nga mumanyi Museveni ye gavumenti wano. Bw'aba yeegombye ettaka ajja buzina agamba lino ettaka gavumenti eryagadde yagala ditwala, tujja kubulira sente meka gavumenti ejj'okkuwa. Abantu bamala kulemerako, ekyo ne kifa. So musaba muleme kusuula step, mulemereeko nnyo nnyo ku mulundi guno, kubanga singa temulemerako baganda bange mujja kuba muwedde. Honorable Muwanga Kivumbi tukoze bulungi nnyo n'obitunyo yabyo. Tewali mugaso gwonna gwa kugatta bitongole kuba kibagezaako okukola. Kenya yakikolako n'enyingiza mu sekta y'emmwanyi ne yeesala ebitundu 5 ku 10 balina okuddayo emabega. Kakati ffe yes emmwanyi yaffe si ya tefuna nnyo nga bwe tulowooza bweyina okufuna nga bwe yali efunyeeko gye bwabo. Naye at least Uganda Coffee Development Authority ebadde eyambyeko abalimi, era bino bigambo biva mu balimi abalimi b'emmwanyi nga bo bagamba ebayambyeko nti buli mwaka wabaddewo enkulaakulana, wabaddewo growth mu bulimi bw'emmwanyi, mu bungi bwe tufulumya n'omutindo gwe tufulumya. Obungi bwayo bweyongera ebitundu 3 ku buli 100 mu kufulumya emmwanyi wano. Jukira UCDA ebadde ekola okumala emyaka kati 33 nga tewali complaint balimi gye bayinako, naye kakati bagagi scrappingawo nga already statistics zikulaga nti ebadde growinga. Growth ebadde 6.33. Okula okutumbuka mu kufulumya emmwanyi obungi bwazo zeeyongedde omwaka oguwedde 2023-2024 financial year gweyongedde by 6.33. ku buli 100 obutundu 6 n'obutundu 3 ku buli 100 yenkulaakulana y'emmwanyi. Tweyongedde okufulumya okusinziira ku mwaka buli omwaka twafulumya ensawo z'emmwanyi milioni 5.8 2.3 ne kakati statistics zikulaga nti omwaka guno 2.3 okufulumya emmwanyi kubadde kwongedde okutumbuka. Twebaza bonna abapromotings emmwanyi okuzirima n'ozifulumya nti kati omwaka guno guno gwe tulimu gwennyini financial yeno yennyini tufulumiza obusawo bw'emmwanyi bubaaga milioni 6 n'obutundutundu 13. So wabadde okutumbuka mu kufulumya emmwanyi ne mu quality ne mu kuyingiza. Bw'oba osindise ku biwandiiko ebya Uganda Coffee Development Authority ojja kulaba nti omwaka guli twatunda emmwanyi za $8.48 nate financial ya eno tutunze emmwanyi za $1 namba mu milioni 14 mu milioni 14. So olaba wenkulaakulana. Kati enkulaakulana eyo mu kutunda emmwanyi n'omutitimbe gwa ssente guno gwe twogerako Museveni agwagala nga tegugenda mmwe bannayuganda nga guli mu bantu be. Ekyo kyayagala era bwe munakikiriza bwe kigenda okubeera. Eyo engeri yokka gy'osobola okufugamu abantu nga wava ssente nnyingi naga wano wavaawo $1 billion namba n'omusubi. Kakati esekita mugimpe ngikwasa abantu bange tebabalimba n'omulundi n'ogumu. Emmwanyi kibadde kya bugagga eri bannayuganda historically wadde twasebengerera naye sano tuli ba musanvu mu nsi yonna mu kulima emmwanyi. Naye yetayagala kibeere nti ffe bannayuganda ffenna ffe b'omusanvu ayagala kubeera nti ye abantu be ab'omunju bakwasizza emmwanyi zaffe be bannamba 7 n'obugagga obwo bugenda eri bo. So kino kigenderere kukwata sekita y'abantu abangi miliyoni ne miliyoni. Ono bampabudde wano ti miliyoni 10 how many families enju miliyoni 12 omanya amaka obukadde 12 n'ekitundu nga be bafuna mu mmwanyi be bayimiriddewo ku mmwanyi be basabayivinga ku mmwanyi be basomeseza abaana ku mmwanyi. Abo bonna obugagga bw'abantu obugagga bw'enju ebeeramu abantu bamika ekitono. Kati twogera ku nnyumba miliyoni 12 n'ekitundu. Obwo obugagga bonna baagala bwefunza. Mu lunaku lumu baagala kukyusa ekyo obugagga obwo buve mu bantu abo budde mu family ya Museveni n'abo abamulya mu ngalo. So that is the reality. Era njagala obasaba nammwe mukinyonyola abantu abalala baki understanding bajja kuleeta obubadi bungi. Kati bagambye twataddewo coffee plant eri ntungamu. Yes, kirungi ze ntungamu bakodomi bange, naye tubeere b'amazima. Emmwanyi ziri mu Uganda yonna. Oŋŋamba otya nti emmwanyi ezivudde Mbale ezivudde wano e Buganda ezivudde Soroti ezivudde wa zonna zirina kola ki? Kiba kya bwenkanya. Abaffe entungamo ye district esinga okulima emmwanyi mu ggwanga lino. So awo nawo wabaawo obutali bwenkanya. Nga naatera okumaliriza njagala tutunulire n'omwoyo etteeka lino mwe baalireetedde. Mwoyo ki mwe baaleetedde lino etteeka? Lino etteeka mu ndaba y'omuntu yenna ne bw'aba ategeera mpola mpola alaba nti lino etteeka baalireese kubonereza Abaganda. Kubanga mwe musinga okulima emmwanyi n'abeeyo e Bukisu. Ate nkyogedde wano mu Luzungu naye mbadde serious nti wano mu Buganda waliwo ebintu byawo. Naye ate mu mmandwa eziri wano waliwo emmandwa gye bayitaani esobola okukola ki? Mugende muginoonyerezeeko asimitembu. Emmandwa mwanattu esobola okutemba wonna wooli nga wakoze ekikolobero oba wabbye baase muntu obeeraawo ogenda okulaba ebigambo bikusamu otuse nga weeyanise ng'ekwanise. mu Lungereza bakiyita Freudish slip of tongue. Nefe wano Buganda bagiyita mando. Obyogera totegedde. Kati yagenze n'etemba Anita Amongo. N'abyogera byonna. So ekyo njagala kibalage omwoyo gwe baleeteddemu etteeka lino. Babadde baagala kukkakanya. Ate Anita Amongo ebigambo byayogedde si bigambo bye, ebigambo bya Museveni naye okusingira ddala bigambo byabo bakwano ba Anita Amongo. Lwaki ngamba bigambo byabwe? Mwabalabyeko mu Parliament ng'ensonga y'enkulu ennyo ekwata ku bantu be bagamba nti babagala nnyo. Mwabalabyeko, mwabawulizzaako. Kibeewunyisa. So kyekiri kye mbadde njogerako nti basobola okukwata abantu bwe baali baagala okubba ettaka mu apa bafuna abantu north ne babafuna ne babaleeta boogedera ensonga eyo. Bwe baba baagala okunyigiriza abasiraamu bajja kufunayo omusiraamu yeebikirire na nnyo ajje ng'ayogera okusapootinga ekyo ekinyigiriza abasiraamu. Ne mu ngeri eno lwakuba ensonyi zikyali nnyingi naye ojja balaba nga bavuddeyo n'abalala batandise dde okuvaayo okubikkirira Anita Amongo. Mujja balaba. Mujja balaba nga bafuba nnyo okubakonvinsinga mmwe okubalaga nti omuntu abanyigiriza ye mukwano gwammwe ate omuntu agezaako balwanirira ye mulabe wammwe. Mujja kubalaba nga bafuba nnyo. Tekyewuunyisa yagadde bajjukiza nti abantu abafaanana bwe batyo bassebo ne bannyabo bye boogera tebiba birowoozo byabwe nti anze ndowooza bwe nti ebirowoozo byange byawukana ku bibyo. No, teba nsobi. Eno projekiti yonna ey'okumpavarishinga ey'okunafuya n'okwavuwaza n'okufufuggaza abantu. Era eyo projekiti ebaako abantu bangi, wabawo abagikulira, waliwo abapulinga paati g'Anita Amongo, waliwo abapulinga paati ey'okuwamba obuwambi abantu, waliwo n'abapulinga paati ey'ogendanga ku mpewo ne boogerera ebyo ebikolobero nga babifuula ebirungi. Ate abapulinga paati nene kuba baagala okulaga nti ate omuntu omukyamu ye omutuufu ye mukyamu. Baagala okulaga nti mulabewo ye mukwano gwo ye mulabewo. Abantu abo mubeegendereza nga tebabeera innocent, babeera part of that plan. So mbanga mubatunulire nkaliriza kuba nabo bali equally oppressive. Viira ddala waggulu bannange nga mbajjukiza nti singa mukkiriza ne babatwalako emmwanyi zammwe aba musigaza ki? Mujja kuba temulina kyemusigaza. Mbeebaza okumpuliriza. Njagala okubakuwola mwenna naddala bali around Western Uganda tulumbe ekisolo tukampeiningire sister waffe Tana tujeyo obuwanguzi naye si buwanguzi bwokka tumakinge sure message yaffe eya change eya freedom n'ey'abaana Uganda okolera awamu ebuuka bulungi. Munzikirize malize nga njogera ku bintu bibiri ebirala. Eky'Abaganda baffe abali mu kkomera abaasibwa nga tebalina musango, obujulizi ne bubula ne babula omusango gwe babasalira naye ne basindika balamu ne banna abalala ne babagamba omuba temukkiriza musango bagenda basiba wadde temugwina. Olwo kwagala okuva mu kkomera bakkiriza omusango naye nga boogera naffe nga bakimanyi naffe tukimanyi tebalina musango. Nga bwe nabasaba nti tuyimirire nabo. Saawa zino toyinza banenya nnyo kubanga bali mu mikono gya mulabe waabwe. Naye ate mu kiseera kye kimutuusamu nnyo ekitiibwa abakomrade abalemeddeko, bakomrades nga Machete nga Kalanzi n'abalala, kubanga si kyabuzira okukkiriza omusango gw'otazizza. Nakyogerako muzikize neera mu dakiika emu kyogereko nti kibi nnyo kye baakola abaana b'abandi okumufuusinga okukkiriza omusango gw'obutuju omuteekeko maaka nti ono terrorist, naye ng'omusango ogwo taguzzanga. Naye tumanyi nti nga tumaze okugoba Museveni tujja kuddayo mu kooti ebyo ebisango byonna tubisazeemu kubanga bya kisiru. Ekyennaku nti gavumenti ya Museveni terina limit mu buswavu. oyinza kutuukako. Bagenze abo abantu oluvannyuma lw'okkiriza emisango gye bataakola ne babasalira n'obasalira ate balamu n'abagamba kati oluvaayo tubatuusiza kyankwanzi mugende babayigiriza okuwagira Museveni. Of course abasinga babiganye, nayogeddeko ne mwannyinaffe Olivia Lutaya n'antegeeza nti wadde bamukkiriza byatakkiriza naye ate bamusalidde omusango. Bakusalira omusango gavumenti bati kikwinako obuvunaanyizibwa kati asavinga kibonerezo kye era bw'avaayo ayagala kudda waka kusinkana famire ye. Naye ekyo kisobola okubeerawo only singa muvaayo nammwe ne muyimirira naye. Njagala okibasaba mwennayo ku social media abali mu Uganda n'abali eyo mubayambeko bannaffe abasobola okutuukira ebitongole ebirwanizi by'eddembe byonna byonna. That is extra torture. Mu bigambo bye Olivia yangambye nti yeetaaga rehab. Bwe ba rehab yekomera bamusibye ate nga talina musango gwe yakola. So bamuleke ekiseera kye kye bamusibye ekinaggwayo bamwesonyiye baleme mulemerako ate mutwala mu byatakkiririzaamu. Nyongera n'obajjukiza baganda bange nti bannaffe abaawambibwa tebalabikanga. Olunaku lwajjo abalongo muganda waffe John Bosco Kibalama be yaleka nga ba myaka 2 n'ekitundu baweze emyaka 8 era mu ddiini yaffe y'Obukatuliki baadde bafuna confirmation n'abadde gayaza n'enyimirirawo nga kitaabwe okukiikirira taata waabwe John Bosco Kibalama. Tukyayongera okubanja abantu baffe si John Bosco Kibalama yekka naye mulimu Damulira John, mulimu Wangolo Shafik, mulimu Lukwago Martin, mulimu Semuddu Michael, mulimu Musimbowa, mulimu Nalumo Sylvester, mulimu Zimola Dennis, mulimu Kanata Muhammad, Kumba George, Mbabazi Moses Sempijja Ju, Mugumya Arafat, Kityo Peter, Muemba Mustafa, Wilu Hassan, Sesazi Isma, Nekisembo Godfrey. Abono bokka petuyinako amannya naye bangi nnyo ababuzibwawo betwongera okunoonyerezaako abamu famire zaabwe zitya okuvaayo kuba bazimanyi nti batiisibwa bayinza n'okubatuusako obulabe naye tetugenda kulekeraawo okubanja baganda baffe abo paka nga tubafunye. Tusabe Katonda babeere nga bakyali balamu naye ne bwe tebakyali balamu babatuwe tubaziike mu kitiibwa tumanye nti babatemula. Naye njagala okujjukiza Museveni n'abo abasajja bakozesa Baddamulira n'abalala nti olunaku lumu mujja kusasulira ebikolobero bye mukoze ku bannayuganda. Mwebale nnyo mwebalize.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put together a big applause for the President. President Sebo ensonga z'obadde oyogerako mu financial year 2023-2024 bayisa obuwumbi 38 through science and technology ne babutwala e Rwashamaire ntunga mu kusettinga up park. Era gavumenti mu mwaka gwe gumu ne wa contract Vinci Uganda Vinci Coffee Company Limited nga yena obuvunaanyizibwa bw'okutunda kofi paka mu 2032. Era gavumenti kati yasayinize MOU ne Chinese Communications Construction Company okutundira emmwanyi. Kati lwaki gavumenti erwana okukola ebyo byonna kubanga yakola dda endagaano emmwanyi yagigabadda. Kati byonna bino it's just following backwards okutuukiriza kiri. Tweyanziza nnyo tweyanzirege olwa mwenna babadde wano era katufune oluyimba olutujja wano olwa anthem ya people power, then the president will leave. Thank you.
yes mwebale nnyo mwebale ddala be tubadde nammwe ku Makumedia TV tubadde ku YouTube kokka tetubaddeyo ku Facebook mwebale nnyo bwe mujjanga musheyalingenga ate tusobole okuba nti tubaweereza mwebale nnyo mwebale ddala mbadde mappa bwejombera Charles Mpanga kuva mu Busiro akuume